Last June, the American Medical Association joined many other organizations in officially recognizing obesity as a disease. This decision was not made lightly. So why does it matter? Dr. Eileen Seeholzer will weigh in with the answer for us, plus what it means especially for seniors. Dr. Seeholzer is the director of the Obesity and Weight Management Program at Metro Health. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be
Appreciate it. Why does obesity qualify as a disease?
Well, it qualifies as a disease for two reasons. The first one is that anytime we have a disease or a chronic condition, in this case, it's something that can't be cured, it has to be managed. So folks who have obesity, whether they're just staying the same weight and trying to keep their other health conditions at bay, or losing weight and keeping it off, have to do things over their lifetime. It's not like an infection where you can cure it. But the second piece is that one of the reasons we can't just keep it off and ignore it is that there's changes in our body that can be permanent, especially when we get to moderate or severe obesity. Some of those fat cells don't just get endlessly bigger when we gain weight, they multiply. And then when we lose the weight, we end up with more fat cells than we started with, and those changes aren't necessarily reversible.
So even though you lose weight, you still have more fat cells than when you were thin at the beginning.
Right. And all of the mechanisms for this aren't clear, but one of the reasons many people who've lost weight and kept it off have shown for years that it's harder to keep it off than if you never gained more to begin with have to do with that physiology.
Huh. Are older adults more at risk than others? Or are they at risk?
Well,
or
we do.
how does that work?
So we become more at risk for obesity as we age, and the younger we have obesity, the more likely we are to get complications from it. The older Americans may be particularly at more risk because they may have more fat than they realize. One of the things is at any weight you may have a body composition that is less muscle and fat because you're not active, and as we get older that becomes more likely.
So that leads to obesity.
Yes.
As we get older. Okay, so suggestions, how do we fight back?
So like all these things, in addition to using the scale to know where we're at, we also want to usually check our waist circumference because a larger waist can confer a higher risk for heart attack and stroke. And knowing your weight and your waist help you know your body mass index and your risk. Then you want to basically help your muscles get stronger and help your body movement, your heart stay stronger too. So it's aerobic work and muscle building activity for your weight overall and healthy eating.
So aerobic work would be
walking, swimming, water aerobics, bike.
And building muscles is?
Usually what we call resistance work, where you use dumbbells or machines, or your body is the weight for things like push-ups, things like that.
What's weightlifting do for us? I mean,
so one of the things most people know is if you don't use muscle, you lose muscle. And one of the pieces for most of us is we don't do manual work anymore, and so we start out older age with less muscle often than we used to. So one of the pieces, especially after menopause for women where we lose a lot of weight, is that, one of the things at menopause when women stop making hormones is they tend to lose muscle at an extra fast rate. So it's particularly important for women to be doing things where they're using weights or using their body as a weight to keep strong.
Eating. If I want to avoid obesity, is eating candy and snacks and stuff, is that why I look like I do and you look like you do? You don't eat this?
Not much, but and actually it has been shown that sugar pop and fast food directly do lead to increased obesity. We certainly know sedentary lifestyle, not being active, does. One of the things, if you think of ourselves in kind of caveman terms, is we really do need to have kind of a healthy plate approach for most people to stay healthy. Some people can get away with it, but most people do need to move more toward that healthy plate to stay at a better weight.
Well, I'm particularly fascinated by your comments earlier that, if we gain weight, it's harder to, we keep more of the fat cells, which I assume then makes it easier to gain weight in the future.
Correct. And I joke with my patients that you're right, it's not fair, it is harder. And that's why that diet, that healthy plate where we really focus on vegetables and the lean protein is important too, because more of those carbs and sugars and fats drive us towards storing energy and not burning energy. So it is, unfortunately, you can't pick diet or exercise. If you want the best result for you, you got to do both.
Well, thank you very much for the good information, and I'm never going to eat potato chips or candy again.
Wow.
Ever. Obesity is hazardous to your health. Maybe if we think of it as an illness, a disease, we'll take it more seriously. Follow Dr. Seeholzer's advice and check your waist measurement and body mass index or BMI. Have the doctor do that. Then take the necessary steps and weights and food servings to achieve a healthier way of life. My thanks to Dr. Seeholzer for shedding light on this pretty heavy topic.
Find out more by calling Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit www.metrohealth.org. Want more Metro Health medical information? Be sure to tune in to WTAM 1100 each Saturday morning at 7 for Metro Health and You, hosted by Dr. Christine Alexander. Next, many happy returns